Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I trust you're doing well. Inshallah, on general science, we're going to be learning a very interesting topic about our environment. We're going to be learning about family traits. Family traits. When you hear the word family traits, it kind of sounds familiar. Now, when we talk about traits, a trait is a particular characteristic or feature in an individual. So family traits are characteristics we inherit from our parents and ancestors. It is very interesting to see what some of these traits are, but it's also important for our health. We need to know if we are likely to inherit a chance of developing a particular disease, then we can try our best to prevent it. For example, now, in some families, they do have this asthma, in which they cough, they have difficulty in breathing, and it kind of passed down like that. When they give birth to their offspring, they give birth to their children, it passed down like that, from ancestors to new generation, and so on and so forth. There are some that battle with maybe cancer or so on, and it's not necessarily disease. There might be some other characteristics, maybe the shape of their face, or the maybe tallness, and some they are always very tall in their family, some very short in their family. These are traits that we inherit, so we call them family traits. So it is very important we know this trait, so that the bad traits, if there's a possibility that we can actually prevent them, then this will give us an avenue or an opportunity to change them before they start developing in us. So apart from health benefits of knowing our family traits, some traits can show whether people are closely related. For example, is blood groups. For example, we can find out who the father of a baby is by testing blood samples from the mother, the baby, and both possible fathers. The result will usually show who the father is. So if the father is O positive, and therefore the baby is also going to be O positive. So if the father blood group is maybe O negative, so therefore the baby will also be what? O negative. So when we look at the members of a family, it is often easy to see family traits such as skin color or height. Sometimes in some families you see that they are always very light in complexion, and you see in some family that they are always dark in complexion. Some families, some are tall, and some families, some are very short. So some of these traits that run in family are caused by genes that have definite variations. So for example, now we have attached or unattached hair loops. So we have been able to or unable to roll the tongue. Some people can roll the tongue and some cannot roll their tongue. And we have some people that have normal hair growth or male baldness. So we also have normal vision or nearsightedness. So there are some people that have a very clear vision, very good vision, and there are some people that they need to at a very tender age, a young age, they collect glasses to enhance their vision. So, and there are some people that have a cleft in the chin or no cleft. There are some people that have dimples in the cheeks, and there are some that doesn't have dimples, and so on and so forth. So we have two types of traits. We have the dominant one and the recessive one. So a gene is a unit of inheritance or heredity that is passed from parents to their children. So genes determine particular characteristics. For example, maybe the eye color. There is usually a variation in that gene. For example, eye color can be blue or brown. For each trait we inherit, there are always two genes present in the body. One gene is inherited from the mother and the other gene is inherited from the father. So often the genes are different. For example, someone may inherit a blue eye gene and a brown eye gene. often one gene dominates the other gene. See, the dominant gene is what we see in the person's outward appearance. For example, a person who has a blue eye gene and a brown eye gene will have brown eyes. The gene that is dominated cannot be seen in the person's outward appearance. This is the recessive gene, that is the blue eye in the example I said earlier. So, however, inherited characteristics are often controlled by more than one gene. So, inheritance is more complicated than this. Intelligence is an example of an inherited characteristic that is controlled by more than one gene. For example, you must have discovered that in some families, maybe the father and mother are very, very brilliant. They are going to pass down the intelligence to their kids as well, and the kids become very, very intelligent. But this is controlled by more than one gene. It don't have to be the father's gene alone. It can be from both the father and mother. And sometimes a gene or characteristic might be dominant. For example, maybe the father is black, is dark in color, in complexion, and the mother is light in complexion. If the father's gene is much more stronger than that of the mother, you see that their kids can be dark in complexion instead of being light in complexion. And sometimes it goes the other way around, whereby the mother gene is much more dominant than the father's gene, and you see that the kids start having their light, they're having light complexion instead of dark complexion. So we have some dominant and recessive genes, such as unattached ear lobes, and for the recessive gene we have attached ear lobe, ability to roll tongue, and ability to roll tongue. We have baldness, not baldness. You know the meaning of bald. So nearsightedness and normal eyesight, and so on and so forth. So let's look at the importance of family traits. The importance of family traits. Certain medical problems can run in families. For example, asthma. I mentioned it the other time. You have strokes. You have cardiovascular disease, some cancers, and diabetes. And you see some people are suffering from strokes, asthma, cardiovascular disease, some cancer, and some diabetes. It's not because of what they actually take. It can be a medical problem that runs in their families. So if you know your family medical history, you will know if you are at risk of developing some of these diseases. So you can then take steps to reduce the risk. For example, eating a healthy diet, exercising, and not smoking can all help to prevent heart attacks and strokes. So it can help to prevent any cardiovascular disease, because when we're talking about cardiovascular disease, we are talking about the diseases that affect the heart. So it is also important to be screened for certain inherited diseases from an earlier age than other people. You will notice that when you get to hospital, they are going to ask for your medical history. As this, for example, maybe a child is having malaria, they will ask, the doctors will ask that, they will ask for your medical history. Have you been, has your parent been suffering from malaria before, or has this person been suffering from malaria before, or they are going to, so that they would know if it's a medical problem that runs in the families, and they will know the right prescription for you to take. So, for example, if breast cancer runs in the family, you're going to have mammograms. If colon cancer runs in your family, you should have colonoscopies. Some conditions such as heart attacks can be prevented if you have your blood pressure and blood cholesterol checked regularly. So now you're going to do something from it as an assignment. You're going to draw a family genealogy. When we're talking about a family genealogy is like a family tree. So I'm going to send the activity to you. You are going to fill in the information in your family genealogy. So number one, for each family member in your family tree, try to find out the person's birth date date of death, that is not applicable, and marriage date. So you redraw your family tree and include all the information you have collected. If anyone suffered from a medical condition such as cancer or asthma, you list that as well. So this, in summary, people inherit certain traits from their parents. Some of these traits can be seen in the person's outward appearance. So it is important to know if there are genes present that can cause diseases, so everything possible can be done to prevent them. Also, some genes are dominant and some are recessive. This leads to dominant and recessive traits in individuals. So a family genealogy is a family tree that lists the people in the family and shows how they are related to one another. So if you have any question, you can discuss that in the meeting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.